What's up, y'all? It's Miles the Millennial.
And it's your boy Rex Howard Jr.
And this is Let's Talk Like Men, the podcast where we have real conversations about real topics, giving real advice to men like you everywhere. And we're back with another episode. This is episode 52. So excited for this. This officially would make a year worth of episodes on our channel.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited about this, Rex. How you feeling today, bro?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm like in uh, a weird space,
Uh-huh.
I would say. But having very, very heavy dreams,
Huh.
very heavy dreams. I feel like Joseph.
Mm.
But just trying to make sense of them, doing a lot of journaling, doing a lot of reflecting, but just making sure, like, say my heart posture is in the right place. So yeah, that's kind of the space I'm in this morning. But I'm feeling all right though. How about you?
That is truly crazy that you bring up dreams because the last 3, 4 weeks, that's been what's been going on with me.
Mm,
Um, I don't know if you care to share yours, but for me, there's been literal spiritual warfare taking place in my dreams. Um, and in them, I get this sense that like the devil is realizing that in my consciousness I'm strong, but in my subconscious, he feels like he has a stronghold there that he can still try and pull on.
yeah.
And so he's attacking me in my sleep. Um, and I've literally had dreams over the past couple weeks where I'm fighting literal demons in my sleep and I'm casting out demons in the name of the Lord.
Yeah.
Right? Craziest dreams where fear will come over me. And I remember one of my favorite stories in the Bible is about the seven sons who went out trying to cast out demons because they saw Paul doing it and they wanted to be like Paul. Or no, they were trying to be like Peter, casting out demons in the name of Jesus Christ. And they knew there was a demon that had possessed a person in their town. So the seven sons, they went out and they tried to cast out the demon in the name of Jesus Christ. And the demon looked at him and said, I know Peter and I know Jesus, but who are you? I don't know you.
Mm,
And proceeded to like beat on them because they didn't really have the spirit of the Lord within them. They didn't know what they were doing. And it was interesting because in my dreams, I had to use the name of Jesus Christ and I could feel fear coming over me in the midst of the demons trying to overwhelm me. And I had to be confident that Jesus was more powerful than them. And it worked in the dreams and it was able to heal people. And I think that that was just kind of a internal struggle and an internal battle of like how deep is your trust and faith in the Lord, because demons are scary,
yeah.
but you cannot be afraid of them more than you fear the Lord.
Yeah.
And if your fear in God is stronger than your fear of the world, you will be able to defeat the world.
That's good. Yeah, I always say the same, brother. It's a lot of spiritual warfare, a lot of attacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of past moments, experiences just show up in my dream,
Hmm.
and it makes me like not gonna say question things, but it just leaves this big old question mark. Like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
Like, am I missing out on something? Have I not grieved or healed from something?
Hmm.
Is there a conversation that needs to be had? All these things pop up. So when I wake up in the middle of the night after having these dreams, I always ask God, like, what does this mean for me?
Hmm.
What do you want me to understand? What do you want me to learn? What do you want me to discern in this?
Yeah.
And I try to fully process it before I have additional conversations. And so today I'm gonna do a lot of journaling
Yeah.
about it. But yeah, bro. So it's definitely been big over the last week and a half. Very
Yeah.
similar to you.
I don't know what's been going on, but I'm just keeping my faith because
Got to
God is good. That's all I can say.
all the time.
Well, today's episode, y'all, is gonna be a really good one. Fellas, this is one of those ones y'all might, it's gonna be a little tough on us to hear. But ladies, we've been going hard on the men, helping them develop as we always do. This episode is for us as well to help us develop. But ladies, you're gonna like this because we're going to be giving the fellas some tips. This episode is going to be the things that annoy a good woman, right? What are the things that men do that your man does in a relationship that will really annoy you and will tick you off if you know you're a good woman, you're a godly woman, you're showing up as the woman that you're supposed to be. And he does certain things that'll really be red flags or causes of concern and struggle. So I think this is going to be a great conversation. Rex, why do you think it's important for us to talk about the things that will annoy a good woman in the first place?
The word that's coming to mind is blind spots.
Mm.
It's good for us to know our blind spots. It's good for us to know that not only can we be annoyed by women, but we could also annoy
Yeah. Yeah.
a good woman. So just being able to check ourselves, being able to do a heart check, being able to do to understand where our posture is
Yeah.
and to work through them. And sometimes, like you said, men don't like to be corrected a lot of times, especially from a woman. But when they hear it from a man, it can kind of make sense.
That's fair.
So it's our responsibility to use what we've been through, what we're currently going through, to help other men out, to let them know, like, hey, these are certain things that you could be doing that could be knowing your woman, and she may not have the language to talk about it, but her body language may show it.
Yeah.
So this is the way to get it corrected.
That's a big fact. I think these conversations, these relationship conversations that happen so much, they're always focused on what one side doesn't like about the other side.
Yeah.
But when is the conversation going to happen about what are the things about ourselves that side doesn't like about us that actually holds some value and some truth that we need to hear?
Yeah.
Right. And like you said, even more so than just the body language might show it. Sometimes your woman is communicating it to you and you just so hard headed and stuck in your ways that you don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
You don't want to receive it. You don't want to believe that it's true or that it applies to you because of whatever it triggers on the inside of you. And so, like you said, when it's said from men, I think it is a different impact, especially when it's said from men that you feel you can respect, that are coming from a place of love and sincerity. And that's one thing that we want to make clear. We're not saying any of these things to attack fellow men. We're saying these things because we ourselves have either gone through them, experienced them, witnessed it. And so it's something that we are either currently battled or have had to overcome. And so we're speaking from a place of experience and love. So without further ado, man,
Hey, let's talk like men.
So you want to go first or me?
You can go ahead and start us off.
Bet.
Yep.
All right, point number one. One of the main things that's going to annoy a good woman is when you're very dismissive about her feelings, right? And when I say being dismissive, I mean that in a few different ways. What are some examples of being dismissive to her feelings? One of the main ways that you can be dismissive is trying to tell her what her feelings are for her. This is something that I struggle with a lot, right? I feel like I know you so well. We've been in a relationship long enough. I know your triggers. I know the points that you often come up with. And so I will seek to assume and try to figure out what it is. And it comes from a place of me not wanting to sit in an uncomfortable situation for a long period of time, right? I want to get through discomfort as quick as possible. I want to solve things as quick as possible. And sometimes because I'm so quick trying to solve them, I'm trying to tell her what the issue is without letting her voice it for herself, without giving her the space to say, hey, that's not actually what I mean in this circumstance. I know that you may think that's what I mean because in the past, that's how I felt, but that's not what I'm feeling right now. What I'm feeling is actually this. And because I'm trying to tell her what her feelings are, she doesn't even get the voice to speak for herself, right? That's dismissive of her feelings. Another way that we dismiss their feelings is by downplaying the feelings that they have by saying and dismissing it because it's not logical, right? Men struggle with this all the time. They'll tell us how they feel, but all we will focus on the fact that don't make sense, or that doesn't lead to a solution, or that doesn't solve the problem. And the reality is, a lot of times in many circumstances, calming the emotions, addressing the emotions, and validating the emotions is the solution in and of itself. There may not need to be a logical solution to every single circumstance. And fellas, I'm telling you, y'all are going to argue with me in these comments about it because y'all do it every single time we bring it up. And y'all want to continue to say the same things. Well, if it doesn't have a solution, that's not logical. What sense does it make? Logic is better than emotional reasoning. Every piece of logic that you have is rooted in your emotions and what makes you feel safe and how you psychologically navigate your thought processes to make sure that you don't feel unsafe. Every person is controlled by their emotions. It's just when you get to a place of emotional maturity, you recognize what's controlling you and you know how to address it properly. But you are not better than her and you are not more mature than her just because you choose to stay safe in logic and you don't dive into your emotions at all. Her emotions matter and you have to be able to address those emotions. You have to be able to validate those emotions. And when you downplay them by treating them as if they're just, oh, they're not logical and so they're not valid, they don't matter. At the end of the day, you feel how you feel, but they're not fact. That is one of the main reasons why y'all continue to fall into the same issues is because she feels dismissed. And you wouldn't like it if she made you feel dismissed about the things that you value and the things that hurt your feelings. So don't do it the other way around.
Oh, that's good. And it just made me think about like how in my past relationships, how dismissive I knew I was. And also how I received When I felt like my feelings or emotions were dismissed, it made me shut down and not give more.
Yeah.
So I know how I felt when I felt dismissed by my partner when it came to my feelings, but I was never thinking about what it felt like for them.
Yeah.
Like you said, if they were to say something that just doesn't make sense, that's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why you're crying right now. I don't see
Mm-hmm.
why are you crying? Like, can you cut all that out?
Mm-hmm.
It's not that serious. It's not that big of a deal. Not realizing I wasn't even trying to understand the root cause of why she felt the way she felt. I wasn't even trying to understand what she needed from me. Maybe she didn't even need nothing from me. Maybe it was from somebody else. But it was almost like I robbed her of the opportunity to share her heart. And I robbed myself of the opportunity to be present with her as she shared it, to be a safe space. When you dismiss, you no longer become safe because now they know, one, you're not going to hold space for them. Two, you probably don't even care about it. And three, you're most likely going to try to give them an answer that they don't even want
That's good.
because we're trying to be so solution focused, because you're so uncomfortable in sitting in your emotions that you don't even like the thought of sitting in somebody else's emotions with them.
Yes.
But when you think about having a long-term relationship, there's going to be hella seasons of emotions. Think about when a partner loses a parent.
Yeah.
That may be months to years of grief. Think about when somebody loses a job. What if you lose a kid? There's so many different seasons where emotions are going to be there. And if you're dating a woman, hell, half the month, her whole system is thrown off
fact.
when she has her period.
That's a fact.
Her emotions are going to be higher. Her cravings are going to be different. And you got to learn how to sit in it. So, but if you dismiss those emotions and never like to sit in them, the only time you like to spend time with your woman is when she's feeling good and when she's at her best. She's not going to feel safe to be even around you when she's not.
That's good, bro. That's so good. You know, I called my lady up and just asked her, like, hey, we got this episode coming up this morning. Things that annoy, women about their man. And that was one of the main things she brought up. She's like, a lot of men struggle, like when a woman is on her period or when she's going through things just hormonally that affect her mood, to be sensitive to those feelings. Because to us, it is so foreign. Why are you crying? It can't be that bad. It can't be that deep. And I think that we really don't know how to walk in each other's shoes in general. And men really struggle with the fact that, like, bro, we have no clue how tough this is for them.
Facts.
Right? Like, you got to think about it. Every single month, the things that she's going through is preparing her body is preparing her for childbearing. And every single month she's going through pain, she's going through all different types of things because she's not pregnant.
Yep.
Her body is having certain reactions to tell her to get pregnant, and she's having to battle a lot of things hormonally, emotionally, physically, mentally. And when we're not safe in those moments, it makes it very difficult for them to be able to trust us in the happy moments too.
Yeah.
And so one of the ways that you can actually increase the level of emotional connection is by you becoming super sensitive during those times of the month when she's on her period or leading up and right after her period. You being very cognizant and attentive then is going to open the door for a greater emotional connection afterwards, because they're going to remember how you treated them when they were at their lowest, when they felt the worst. That's going to be a big moment, and it's a great way for you to be able to grow. You know what time of month. If you don't know the time of month or when it seems like she's about to get on her period, I suggest you get on the Flow app.
Yeah.
Figure out when her cycle is. Start jotting it down so that you can see when she's coming up around that time. It'll also help you navigate arguments, because if you know it's around that time of the month, you'll know, look, don't take what's about to happen personal.
Yeah.
She's going to be a little short tempered. She might be a little bit out of whack. It's not intentional. And you're going to have enough emotional fortitude to be able to withstand that, because it's not her fault and it's not your fault either. But you guys are going to have to be there for each other.
Man, that's good. And then just for fellas, just to stay on point, literally ask your woman, what are you needing from me right now?
Yeah.
Right? It goes back to the main principles. Are you wanting to vent? Are you looking for solutions? Or you just need space to talk? And if she says she just wants to vent, be okay with sitting in that with her.
Yeah.
If she says she wants solutions, be okay with trying to help her find solutions that are in alignment with what she wants for herself.
Yeah.
Not everything that you feel would be the best, but what's in alignment with what she wants for herself. And if she says, I don't know what she wants, then be okay with just sitting with her, bro. Hold her hand, rub her back. Make her feel like you're there for her. Like, no matter what it is, no matter what you need, no matter how long it takes, I'm present.
Yeah.
And when you find out what you need from me, boom, I'm here. So just keep that in mind, fellas.
That's good. What's your point number 2?
Bet. Check your phone too.
Okay, bet.
All right. So my point number 1, things that a woman that would annoy a good woman is a man that doesn't take the initiative to lead. Right? You're talking about, let's just say before you even meet that woman. There's a lot of times that women will come and ask me, Rex, so what happens when I like somebody and I know they like me too, but they're waiting on me to take the first move, right? And I always say, you know, it's okay to throw hints out there, but it's his responsibility
Absolutely.
to take that lead. So then you get into dating, and the man doesn't initiate dates.
Yeah.
He doesn't initiate prayer time.
Yeah.
He doesn't initiate emotional time.
Yeah.
You got to ask yourself, is that the type of man that you want in your life? Right? And that's something that's going to annoy a woman, is when a man doesn't know how to take the initiative. A man doesn't lead. He doesn't want to initiate the hard conversation. He doesn't even want to initiate the good conversation. Right? And even in my relationship, I realized that, Rex, whatever you start, you must maintain.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
Right. If you're going to take the initiative to write your lady letters, continue to do that. If you're going to take the initiative to send her flowers, continue to do that. Because the minute I don't do it, she notices it.
Yeah.
And if she's calling me out based on what I'm not doing, that's not my responsibility to start getting upset. Like, no, Rex, this is what you started.
Yeah.
So whatever you start, you must maintain. And if you don't maintain it, don't be upset when she calls you out for it, because that's what's going to annoy her.
That's a fact, bro. And you know, the thing about leadership, like if a man has an ability to lead or a desire to lead, that's going to have other qualities associated with it that are also going to be helpful later on down the road, because a leader not only makes decisions, like you said, and takes initiative, he also takes accountability. So when he's wrong, a leader seeks to say, in what areas did I fail in this circumstance?
Yeah.
What areas do I need to improve in this circumstance? And I think that when women date men who don't have the capacity to lead, you end up in a situation to where you guys are always going to be at in a battle, bro.
Yeah.
And you're always going to be pulling teeth. It's going to be like pulling teeth to ask him to do basic things.
Yep.
It's going to be like pulling teeth to ask this person to take initiative on stuff because it's so foreign to them. And I don't think anybody wants to be in a relationship in general with somebody that can't make their mind up.
Yep.
Especially about something as basic as what you want. What do you want? Do you want me or do you not? Right? And like you said, it's no problem with the girl throwing, you know, hints out there, letting the man know that she's interested or anything like that. But once that is made clear, if that man is still sitting there fumbling at the mouth, can't figure out what he wants for himself, can't make a decision to say, yeah, I want to do that. Let's do this. Okay, I'm going to set up a date. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. That's either a man that don't want you, or that's a man that is not prepared for what it's going to take to keep you.
Yeah.
And that's something that you have to think about for the ladies out there, and for men. Like, you don't ever want to be the man that she feels like can't make a choice. You don't ever want to be the man that she feels like she can't trust. You don't want to ever be the man that she feels like she can't call upon to make a decision when she's at a loss for the decision for herself.
Yeah.
So I think that that's good.
That's real good. And the last thing I'm going to say is this, fellas. If you're in a relationship and maybe there's been a little bit of dysfunction in your relationship, there's been a little disconnection, and you know that this may be a good time for y'all to go to counseling, please don't allow your woman to be the one that takes all the steps when it comes to trying to find a counselor. Don't take that back seat and say to her, well, you just go find us somebody and we'll go. No, be an active participant. Because not only is, because if you take the back seat when it comes to your lady finding stuff that's going to help better y'all, then you're going to take the back seat on implementing the tools that you're going to be given. Right? And I get that all the time. There's women that come into my office that say, hey, Rex, I just want to set up a consultation. I know me and my husband need this. And I always ask them, is this something that your husband wants as well? Because if only you want it, I know for a fact he's not going to utilize the information. And the couples that last are the couples that say, yes, my husband wants it. In fact, do you want me to add him to the call? And I say, absolutely. Let's get everybody on the call. Let's have a consultation and let's see what can we work through. But for the women that call me and say, I'm having to push my husband to come into counseling, I'm having to push my husband to use the tools, he doesn't want that marriage.
That's fact.
He doesn't want to fight for it. So once again, something that's going to annoy him is you not taking that initiative. You're not taking the leadership. You're not doing the things that you know you need to do to better the relationship from your perspective.
You know, women, and this is a natural thing that we've talked about before, women tend to fall in line and adopt the leadership or the decisions of the man in their life.
100%.
Right? And so when a husband takes the initiative or shows up and says, this is something that I want to do, this is something that we need to take serious, the entire household gets in order. But when you see households that are ran by the woman and it's not in accordance with what the husband is trying to do, what you see is dysfunction. What you see is the kids growing up in circumstances where they can play both sides against each other.
Yep.
What you see is a household that always has dismissiveness and emotional turbulence because there is not a in sync mindset from the two people that are supposed to be leading it and the man who's supposed to be setting the standard, right? When women are in control, it's not that women can't do things. It's simply the fact that it is unnatural for us to be in positions where a woman is trying to pull a man to tell him what he needs to do.
Yep.
Right? It's unnatural for a woman to be the only one who desires something to work out in a relationship, and that man who's supposed to be the muscle behind everything that happens. How is the brains and the muscles going to move to go somewhere? The brain telling the body to move and the body don't want to move.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you're not going nowhere. Your spirit may want to go somewhere, but the motion and the actions and the things that have to get done, the strength that has to be put behind it in order to actually persevere through things is not present.
Yep.
And so all growth, we've said this before, all growth will only live in your mind. It'll only live in the conversations. The growth will only live in the arguments. The growth will only live in the moments where y'all are talking about what needs to be done. But it will not live once you leave the counseling session. Yeah. It will not live and exist once it's time to put those steps into motion.
That's good.
Because the muscle ain't there. Not there.
That's good, man. What you got for your next point, brother?
Man, my point number 2, a thing that's going to annoy a good woman is when a man is excited to go hang out with his boys, excited to go hang out with go to the job, excited to go kick it with his crew, his sports team, whatever it is. But hanging out with his woman is a chore.
Man.
Right? You are excited the second the boys call your phone. It don't matter what you had planned for the day. You'll move hell and high water to make sure you there to kick it with the fellas, to go to the bar, to have a guy's night out, to go down to the men's live, the men's cave and do your thing. But your woman gotta beg you to take her out to dinner.
Yep.
Your woman gotta beg you to spend some time at the house and watch a movie at night. Or when you do it, you always have an energy about it that makes it seem like it's a chore for me to do this.
Yeah.
Your woman wants to see the same excitement that you have to kick it with your boys. She wants to see that same excitement when it comes to spending time with her. And you know, the funny thing is, when I was talking to my lady about it, I gave her that point. She's like, you know, you don't really have that problem. I don't have that problem with you. And I was like, you know, I didn't feel like you did, but I wanted to throw it out there. Thank you for the reassurance. But one thing that she made, but that I noticed about it when I reflect on it is this. I never have a problem when I say, oh, I'm about to go hang out with the boys. I'm about to go at such place with my guy. I never have no pushback from my woman about that because she knows that I'm intentional about the time I spend with her.
Yeah.
A lot of times the reason why your woman is giving you flack for the fact that you're hanging out with the guys is because of the things you neglected with her.
Yeah.
She's looking at it and she's like, it's crazy that you making time last minute to go spend time with the dudes. I've been telling you for 2 months that we should have a date night.
Yeah.
How is it that you're so quick to go with them, but it's a hassle to get you to want to be with me? Now she doesn't feel like you care about her the same. She doesn't feel like she's loved the same. She doesn't feel like you want her the same. You want your boys. You want to hang out with your guys. You do not want to hang out with me.
Yeah.
You hang out with me because it's an obligation. You hang out with me because I force you. You hang out with me because if you don't, it's repercussions.
Yeah.
You go with your boys because, oh yeah, I've been waiting on this.
The fun, yeah.
This is where the fun is at. We're going to have a great time. I get to relive these memories. Man, relive some memories with your wife. Relive some memories with your girl. Like, when you treat being with her like a hassle and a chore, that is going to always be a source of conflict.
Man, that's good. And one thing that's coming to mind right now is when fellas say, well, we've been at the house together all day.
Have you been present?
Right. Being in proximity is not the same as spending time with your partner.
That's a fact.
Right. Being in close proximity, her being in the living room, you being in the dining room, her being in the kitchen, or you being in the guest room, y'all being in the same house does not equate to quality time.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's when you guys are in the same space, phones are down, TVs are off, and you're connecting. Maybe you're in the kitchen cooking a meal together. Maybe you're on the couch watching a show together, and y'all are engaging and interacting about that show.
Yes.
But if you want to spend time to get your needs met with your guys, but you're not spending time with your wife to make sure y'all getting your needs met, that's going to annoy her.
That's a fact.
And that's going to cause distance and create a gap in between y'all's relationship because she's not going to feel connected. You're not going to feel connected. She sees the excitement you get when your guys call you. She sees the excitement you get when they ask you to come out. You're like, babe, can I go? But you ain't never that excited to play nothing for y'all. You ain't never that excited to sit on the couch. You ain't never that excited to go out and get dressed up and do things that she's been asking you to do.
Yep.
And that right there makes her envy your friends.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, why can't I get that same excitement that you get with them from you?
Bruh, and think about it. You want to go out with the guys, you put on a fit you ain't wore yet. You make sure you crispy, you get your hair cut, throw on your cologne. When it's time for you to hang out with your woman, you're raggedy.
Yeah.
You didn't take no time to plan it. She's doing all the work. You'll coordinate everything if it's the guys going out.
Yeah.
I bet we're going to go to this bar. We're going to hit it from this time to this time and watch the game. Then after that, we're going to go to this club. I got the section already. Whatever it is that y'all got playing. We got the cigar bar across the street. I already got the stogies for us. We good. Like, it's just a total different energy that you carry into it. And one of the easiest ways that you can make her feel like you care, once throughout the week, when she's watching her shows, just one time, sit down and just watch the show with her.
Yeah.
Tell her, babe, I want to watch your show with you tonight. Pick whatever show it is that you want to watch. And I'm telling you, bro, no matter how stupid you think it is, don't criticize it. Sit down and either be quiet or engage with her on it. Have that moment with her where you're being intentional about the time you're spending with her to do something that she enjoys. That will save you a lot of heartache down the road. And it'll also set a foundation for you to be able to build on the time that you're spending with each other and being intentional about caring about the things that she likes and not just doing the things because you feel like you have to do it. Approach it with an energy of, I want to do this for my wife.
Yep. And last thing I'll say to add to that is this. Fellas, there's going to be that excuse that you make. Well, when I go out with my guys, it's a lot cheaper than going out with my woman. There's ways you can go out and not having to spend a whole bunch of money.
Absolutely.
That's when you step into that creativity.
Absolutely.
Right? That's when y'all go do a walk in the park. That's when y'all go do that coffee date. That's when y'all go do, you go to Five Below and you get that paint with the twist situation. That's when you just be creative.
Yep.
Like, if the reason you're not hanging out with your wife is because you don't want to spend the extra money when y'all go out, then be creative and do something at the house. Be creative, do something in the neighborhood. Do something with another couple that y'all cool with.
Yep. And if you get ahead of it, it'll save you money.
100%.
Don't wait till she got to come up with the idea. I guarantee her idea not gonna be free. She's not even thinking about the cost of it.
Yeah,
it's not that bad. It's like $200.
Yeah.
No. Get ahead of it. If you get ahead of it and she feels fulfilled, she doesn't feel like she's lacking in time with you, and she can say, "Oh yeah, we went out last week, and then 2 weeks before that, like, we're good." You won't have to worry about that. I promise you, the cost gonna be a lot cheaper if you get ahead of it.
Yeah.
It's cheaper to keep her, ain't that what they say? Well, part of that is it's cheaper to keep her happy
100%.
than it is to make up for her being unhappy or feeling deprived.
Yep.
That's gonna cost you.
Yep.
It's gonna cost you financially. It's gonna cost you mentally. It's gonna cost you emotionally. So, telling you, get ahead of it.
And then even on top of that, when you are giving her the time, attention, and affection that she needs, she's gonna say, "Babe, you ain't hung out with your friends in a while."
Literally, she gonna want you out of her presence. I swear she is. You need to spend some time with your guys.
Yeah, go ahead and go have your little guy night or whatever.
You
And
ain't lying.
and when you get to that point, that's how you know she's getting her needs met.
Absolutely.
She's not being deprived. She feels the presence. She feels connected. She doesn't have any insecurities because y'all aren't spending that much time together. She's okay with you feeling excited about seeing your guys because you share that same excitement or even more excitement to spend time with her.
Absolutely right.
So that's good.
That's on point. What's your point number 2?
Man, things that annoy a woman. A man that makes excuses for everything. Right? You make excuses for why you don't plan. You make excuses for why you don't apologize. You make excuses for why your actions don't align with your words. You make excuses for why you are not giving her compliments or affirmations anymore. You make excuses for all of these different things. And the reason why that's going to annoy a good woman, because you become a man that can't be trusted.
Yeah.
You become a man that can't be depended on. And you become a man that leads your wife to somebody else. Right? Lead your wife to somebody else. You know that what they say, get somebody else to do it?
Yeah.
That's exactly what happens when you make all these excuses. Well, babe, my car's been making this sound. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. A week goes by, 2 weeks go by, and now she calling her daddy. Now she calling granddaddy, or now you find out like, babe, where you at? Oh, I'm at the auto body shop. Why are you there? Because remember I told you to do this.
Remember I told you? It's been like 3-4 weeks that been happening. Yeah, I took it up here.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, I had a client to say, Rex, I've been telling my partner, I love flowers.
Yeah.
She was like, we've been dating for 3 months and I still ain't got no flowers yet. And she said, I went and bought my own flowers. She said, why you do that? She was like, because I remember for the last 3 months I've been telling you.
Yep.
Oh, well, it's all these excuses.
Bro. Yeah.
Don't no man, don't no woman want a person that's full of excuses.
Yes.
They want somebody that's about that action.
Yep.
They want somebody that's about getting things done. If I say I'm going to do it, they want somebody that's going to do it.
Yes.
And if you don't do it, there's a justifiable reason for why you didn't do it. But don't let that same justifiable reason be the reason why you don't do it every single time. So once again, one thing that a woman is going to be annoyed by is a man that makes excuses for everything.
That's so good, brother. Ooh, that's good. Oh, man, bro. It's to the point now in my relationship. When I come over, I got a to-do list. And I don't mean this in a negative way. I don't mind it at all. I enjoy it because I know that means this woman trusts me.
Yeah.
Like, she knows that she can call and depend on me to get certain things done, and she don't got to call another man to come do it. Other day, her curtain just broke off the wall. I don't know how she did it. She claims she don't know how it happened. But I already knew. All right, cool. When I pull up here, make sure I already called her. I said, them tools I left over at your house, you still got them. Make sure this is here. Make sure that's there. Everything was where it needed to be. I come in. I sit down. She already had a little food ready for me. Ate my meal. Went up there. Got to work. Right? Did what I had to do. Spent a little time with her. Got back home so I could get to work and do the other things that I needed to do. She called me throughout the week. Babe, can you check this out for me real quick? Or how do I do this? Some of this stuff I know she can do.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff I remember early on in our relationship, she did for herself. Now she act like she just can't do it. Absolutely. But I love that. She living in her feminine.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that she can relax on those responsibilities and hand some of them over to me. And I also know that I'm appreciated for it. I'm not in the position where I feel like I'm just a tool for her, right? I'm a man that she values, she trusts, and she loves, but I had to earn that. And that's the part that I think some men struggle with, is you got to earn a woman trusting you.
Yeah.
You don't just give your trust to anybody when you meet them.
Nope.
So why do you expect that the woman that you with is going to give it to you when you haven't shown her that you deserve it?
Nope.
Earn that. And that should be something that you're excited to do. That should be something that, if it's really who you want to be, if that's something that you embody, that should be a part of your natural character and how you move, is to show up for people. I made a video on my page in my last podcast episode about the difference between habit and happenstance, right? You see, men that make excuses live in happenstance mindset. Everything that happened because of some random factor that got in the way of them doing what they were supposed to do. But that's not the reality. You know, that may be acceptable once or twice, but when it continues to happen, it's not happenstance. That's your habits. See, happenstance is the random things that happen in the world. Habit is who you really are. Right?
That's good.
And some men, we have a habit of being an excuse maker. We have a habit of not showing up and always having a reason as to why we couldn't be there.
Yep.
We have a habit of not being able to get it done. And then whenever she don't depend on you and she starts becoming independent and she starts calling on another man, or you're mad because she took the car to the shop and they charged her 2-3 times more than what it was supposed to be charged. Well, you should have let me take it. That's why I need to take it. Well, bro, why is it taking you two weeks, 3 months to get the thing done, bro? If you didn't want this situation to be in another man's hands, then you should have taken it into your own hands and taken responsibility for it.
Yeah.
So the fact that you just said that, man, I've felt that before in my relationship where I was not leading properly. And I felt the type of way about it. But I had a choice. Do I either sit here in self-pity, or do I take accountability for the areas that I'm not showing up and give her the opportunity to show me that she can rest her dependence on me for certain things?
Yeah.
Now, if I start leading and she don't do it, then we have another conversation about this. But put your best foot forward, Miles, and let's see what happens.
Yeah. And for the fellas out there that's making hella excuses, right? Do me a favor. You want to work past that, start taking responsibility for your actions. Start becoming a doer and not just a responder. And one of the biggest things that you may find yourself, especially if you're a man that make excuses, you're going to find yourself feeling challenged anytime she corrects you.
Yeah.
You're going to find yourself becoming defensive anytime she corrects you. So the next time she calls you out for not doing something that you say you're going to do, don't try to defend yourself. Don't try to make no justification.
Yep.
Right? Don't try to come up with no lie. Don't come up with no excuses. Take accountability for it. Take responsibility for it and say, you know what, you're right. I didn't take that trash out like I said I would. You're
Yep.
right. I didn't put gas in your car like I said I would. You're right. I haven't been apologizing, or I haven't been affirming you. I haven't been calling you beautiful. I haven't been giving you reassurance. I haven't took the initiative to plan date nights. I apologize. Not only do you apologize, but I'm going to do better. And you don't have to remind me to do better, because I'm going to take initiative on doing better. I'm going to hold myself accountable for doing better. And if I find myself feeling stuck, if I find myself stumbling, if I find myself realizing I'm in this pattern of not doing better, then I'm going to go get some help to help me unlearn or help me get unstuck. Whether that's talking to a coach, talking to an accountability group, going to a counselor to realize, why do I self-sabotage? Why do I start something and I always end it? Why can't I be a man of my word? Where do I get this from? Need somebody to help you get to the root of that thing. And if you need somebody, I promise you, I got you.
Yeah. Go ahead and hit resolvecc.com. Yeah. He'll get you right.
Get you right.
He'll get you right.
Quick.
Yeah, he not capping though. And the reality behind that is the fact that if you show your habits to her and she likes those habits and she values those habits, and you've shown that you are a man that can get things done, you have a lot more leeway when you can't.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't become an immediate attack on your character, your capabilities. Instead, it becomes an act of her trying to figure out what's going on. Rather than her attacking, she's gonna say, "Baby, are you okay? You know, I've noticed the past few times you didn't take out the trash. Like, is something going on in your morning routine that has you stressed out?" And then next thing you know, you get to have that conversation, say, "Well, babe, you keep me up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Sometimes throughout the day when the kids are doing this and doing that, I feel like I'm taking a little bit too much on it, so I don't wake up on time, and I'm struggling to get to work on time. Or I have to make my own breakfasts and I don't be one to wake you up. And so that throws me behind schedule." Whatever it is, it opens the door for a conversation, because she knows that that's not how you usually act.
Yeah.
Your habits are who you are. And I'm telling you, if you really when you ask this question, be prepared.
Yeah.
Because you might not like the answer. Ask your woman, what do my habits say about me to you?
Yeah.
Ask the question and shut up. Don't say anything. It's going to trigger you. Some of these things you might not like. Be prepared, because this woman is going to tell you about yourself now that you've opened that door. And so if you're not ready to be accountable, don't ask that question. But if you really want to see where she's at in the relationship and how she feels about you in the relationship, ask her, what do my habits say about me? And she's going to tell you, for old and for new, everything in every area where you're struggling, in every area where you're on point. And that is where you need to focus your efforts and say, okay, she says that, well, I love how attentive you are when I tell you, but I would appreciate it. Sometimes I feel like I have to tell you too much.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would just like for you to use your eyes and see certain things. And she's not asking you to read her mind, but like, bro, you see the things that need to be done. The fact that you turn a blind eye to it is because you don't want to take responsibility for it. When you see it, start taking the approach of a leader, which says everything in this house is my responsibility.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter the roles that we play. Everything is my responsibility. And from there, you'll be able to really gain a level of respect from her and trust that's going to eventually actually take some things off your plate.
Absolutely. That's good, man. What you got for your next point?
Man, my point number 3. One of the things that's going to annoy a good woman is when you call yourself a man of God, but you behave like a man of the world. What I mean by that is, you feed into degeneracy, bro. Like, there's behavior that you display that don't flow. You're quick to quote the word of God when it's trying to correct her.
Yeah.
But when the word of God is thrown upon you, you got every excuse in the book as to why it doesn't apply to you. Right? You're quick to sit in the front row at church, but you're going to be at the front row at the strip club. You quick to be the main one preaching self-control and modesty, but you watch pornography, you feed into your lust, you can't keep your eyes to yourself, you're angry, you don't have self-control when it comes to your emotions. You lash out. You can be vindictive. You can be mean as all get out. You can be a terror in your own household. There's nothing that will get on a woman's nerves more than that.
Yep.
Because now you're using the word of God in a way to control and not in a way to love. Right? And that's going to always cause conflict and problems within a relationship, because you're not who you say you are. You are not who you say you are. And I have had to face that myself, y'all. When I realized, when I talked about already, that my habits and my actions don't fall in line with a man that says he serves God and a man that wants to tell his woman to submit to him and wants to sit there and say, oh, yeah, you need to be a woman of God and you need to get in church and you need to do this and you need to do that. It's always a you need to, never what am I doing?
Yeah.
Never a self-reflection, right? Calling yourself a man of God comes with a responsibility. And when you don't take that responsibility, and it ain't just paying bills, when you don't take that responsibility, you're a fraud.
Yeah.
And that's going to always be a big issue.
Part-time Christian,
Yeah.
right? I think that's a huge issue, not only in the relationship, but also as a father, as a leader. If you're a social media influencer, you put your best foot forward to the world. You posting scriptures, right? You posting prayers,
Yeah.
but behind closed doors, you don't live none of that life,
Yep.
right? God ain't pleased with that. And you can only keep it up for so long.
Yeah.
And typically, you're only a man of God when things are good,
Yeah.
right? But you don't got that same grace, that same patience, that same forgiveness when you dealing with things, conflict with your wife
Yeah.
in the midst of an argument.
Yeah.
You don't got that same grace, that same patience when you're being corrected and you're being called out, being rebuked for something. You don't got that same grace, that same patience when somebody sees something in you that ain't godly and they say something about it and you make excuses for it.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, we have a sinful nature.
Yes.
So we don't naturally want to do what's good,
Absolutely.
but it's going to be a daily battle.
Yep.
God knows it's going to be a daily battle, but he is not going to correct your problems for you.
Yep.
He is not going to correct your behaviors for you. He puts his word out there. He puts his laws out there. He lets you know what you should be doing. He let you know what you should be saying. He lets you know how you should show up in your relationship, how you should show up as a man, what a man of God looks like, what he sounds like, what he talks like, but he can't do the work for you.
Yes.
You have to choose.
Yes.
What the church say this week, you can be a slave to righteousness.
Yes.
Or you can be a slave to sin.
Yes.
Right? And you trying to be a part-time man of God, you sitting right there in the middle.
Absolutely.
And it shows up in all the areas and mainly your relationship.
Dog, that is so real. And it comes up to a conversation that we had about struggling in sin versus settling in sin. Right?
Break that down one more time for them.
Yeah, I got you, bro. So like, as a believer, as a man of God, you should be struggling in sin, not settling in sin. Because you're always, like we already said, it's always a battle. So you're never just going to be the person that just overcame sin completely.
Yep.
You're not Jesus. So you will sin.
Yep.
But the difference is when you're struggling in sin as a man of God, when you get tempted, you should, okay, you got tempted. All right, cool. But you're not going to stay in that temptation, right? Let me focus on the word of God. Let me bring myself back and call upon the Lord to be able to give me strength to divert my eyes.
Yep.
Right? I know I shouldn't be in this place because it feeds my addictions.
Yep.
Let me get up out of here. Let me not put myself in certain environments that I know are going to cause me to fail. Okay, my woman just triggered me by what she just said. How do I respond from a righteous perspective and not from a perspective of a man that's going to cause more problems than good in this circumstance? Right? But when you're settling in sin, you let your emotions overtake you, right? You let temptation overtake you. And time again, you let it keep failing and then you come to God for repentance, but you make no change. That's settling in sin.
Yeah.
That's a man who says he's a man of God, but isn't really. You're not led by God. Your heart posture is not pointed towards God. Your thoughts are not directed towards being righteous. That's not what your real desire is. You talk a good game, but your actions are completely different. And see, women can deal with a man who struggles in sin. That's one thing. But a man who settles in sin,
Different ball game.
yeah, that leeway, that leash is gonna be real short after a while. Because now it becomes who you are, not just something that you're battling through or dealing with. Um, and so, yeah, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. You have an obligation and a responsibility as a leader when you are given dominion and power from the Lord over a certain space of responsibility or sphere of responsibility to lead the right way. And when you don't lead the right way, if you want to know what happens, just go read Solomon.
Yeah.
Go read about Solomon in the Bible. Greatest king. But guess what happened? He got his kingdom taken away from him because he started worshiping other gods and being disobedient to the Lord. So you have to be led by the right things if you're going to call yourself a man of God. Solomon had all the wisdom in the world and still he fell to his sin and his temptation.
Goodness.
So if you don't want to make the same mistake and get your kingdom taken away from you, what is a man's kingdom on earth? Primarily is going to be his woman and his family.
Yep.
If you don't want that taken away from you, then you can't just say you a man of God. You got to live like a man of God. You got to struggle with sin. You cannot settle in sin. You struggling with sin, what I need you to be is a prize fighter. Okay? I need you to be a prize fighter. You may be up against a good fighter on the other end in the devil. But guess what? At a certain point, when you're struggling with sin, you should start landing some blows of your own.
Yeah.
Right? He shouldn't just be beating you up. You getting hit with the same hook and you ain't keeping your fist up. Block it. Throw a counter. He should start seeing, oh, this man fighting back, bro. He ain't going out.
Yeah.
But when you settling and saying, you just sitting there and you taking it.
Yep.
Men of God don't take nothing. We fight. We fight for the Lord. We fight for what's right. We fight for our righteousness. We fight for our soul. So that's what I mean when I say, you know, that's gonna get in the way with a good woman, bro. You can't just be sitting there calling yourself no man of God, but you ain't living like one.
Man, that's good.
What's your point number 3, man?
Something that's going to annoy a good woman is a man that's good for nothing but pleasure. Right? He's great when you want to call him 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you need that midweek lock-in.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't call him to come fix nothing.
Yeah.
You can't call him when you need a ride somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't call him in the midst of conflict to be a problem solver.
Yeah.
You can't call him when you stuck on the side of the road. Right? But you can call him at 1 a.m. You can call him when you need to come drop it off.
Yep. When you got to scratch that itch.
Right. Now, you know, just based off history and based off living, like, you know, how we used to do, that pleases a woman's flesh.
Absolutely.
But not her mind.
No.
Not her spirit.
No.
Not her soul.
Yep.
And it leads you nowhere.
Yeah.
Because a man that's good for nothing but pleasure, that's the only thing he's wanting and expecting out of a woman.
Yep.
He don't want to think about no relationship. He don't want to deal with no emotions. He don't want to sit with you to talk about what's next, about the future. He don't want to talk about kids. He don't want to talk about God.
Yep.
If y'all not talking about the main thing, then he ain't really talking.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not sustainable at all. That's not going to build nothing. That's not going to lead you closer to Christ. That's just going to lead you closer to lust. It's going to make you feel more confused. And as just hearing from women and having these type of lifestyles where we were doing that to women,
Yep.
you got to see the remnants of that.
Yep.
They don't lead to nothing.
At all. Bro, this reminds me of Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell. One of the I saw a clip he was talking about. He said, "Ain't no dude stroke game worth going to hell over."
Yeah.
Right? And this type of dude that you're talking about right now, a dude that's good for nothing but what he dropping off,
Yep.
like he may make you come, but he gonna leave you with confusion and conflict.
Yep.
You might get an orgasm, but you're gonna be left with obstacles, right? He brings nothing that's constructive. He brings nothing that's going to lead to peace and clarity. He's going to bring nothing that leads to your spirit and your emotions being fulfilled, right? And like you said, he's just leading you away from God the whole way. And if you're a man and that's all you good for, and you know you're a man, that's all you good for, because I'm gonna just put myself back in my old shoes.
Yeah.
If you live in your flesh all day, every day, right? That's who you are. We're talking to you. Okay. If when you reach out to a woman, all you thinking about, your own only intention and goal is I got to get in that bedroom with her and show her what I'm made of, right? If when you move about life, you're not thinking about how you're presenting yourself into the world so that you can achieve more purpose, more power, more leadership, more ways to serve people. It's really so that you can appear a certain way to attract more women.
Yeah.
You're that man, right? You're not bringing anything of value. And I really charge you with the responsibility of what you're leaving behind when you leave every night.
Yep.
Like, I genuinely want you to think about it, because I know the harm and damage that I did to women in my past when I was a man that was living all up in my flesh.
Yep.
Good for nothing but sex, bro. And at the end of the day, yeah, that fed my ego, but it never prepared me and fed me to be the type of man that was going to be able to lead a family one day.
Yep.
That was going to be able to be a good husband one day. That was going to be able to be a leader of others one day. It leaves nothing constructive.
And it leads you to a life of destruction,
Yes.
a life of loneliness, a life of feeling like that's all you have to offer, because at the end of the day, that is all you have to offer.
Yep.
It takes you further and further away from God.
Yep.
Because typically when you live in that lifestyle, you don't feel conflicted or convicted because you're not connected.
Absolutely.
Right. And when you're not connected, then you're living this life. And when God releases you to that lifestyle completely, ain't nothing bringing you back, bro.
That's a fact. Hold on. And you know, I know there's going to be some cats out there. You think that because you got money, you think that because you got a purpose that you working towards, you think that because you're very intelligent and well-read, you think that because you're emotionally understanding and have some high level of EQ, you think that we're not talking to you. You're even more who we're talking to.
Yep.
Because you're more dangerous. Brother, you are more dangerous than the dude that's just attractive and can have good sex.
Yep.
You're even worse because you know mentally and emotionally and spiritually how to navigate your way through every type of woman you run into. You present yourself as something more, but that's not how you actually act once it comes time. Right? And you think that because you lay it down and you have good conversation that this ain't you. No, we're including you. Because if we're being real about it, you're not living for God. Because if you were living for God, you wouldn't be over up in that room anyway.
Yep.
Okay? You are just as much in your flesh as the dude that don't have no intelligence or no degree or no money. You just as much. You even more dangerous because you have an anointing over you and you're using it for evil.
Yep.
And not for good. So yeah, you're included in it. As a matter of fact, you're the main one we're talking about.
Yeah.
Brother, we know because we've been there. We ain't attacking you. We're being real with you. And when you choose to align yourself with the Lord and you actually make decisions that reflect that, that means being respectful of your own body and then being respectful of hers, taking sex off the table and seeking to understand her from an emotional perspective and showing your leadership without having to show what's down here. Now you bringing something else to the table that actually is going to be something that God is pleased with and is going to lead to good fruit.
No, facts. And I want to take out of Luke 17 verses 1 through 3.
Let's talk about
it. It says, Jesus said to his disciples, things that cause people to stumble are bound to come. But woe to anyone through whom they come.
Oh,
Right? It would be better for them to be thrown into a sea with a millstone tied around their neck than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. So watch yourselves.
tell them what that means, right?
In other words, you know you ain't looking for nothing but sex.
Yep.
Right? And you know she looking for a relationship. She looking for a godly man. She looking for marriage. She looking to live a righteous, right?
Yep.
But you use your manipulation tactics. You use your money to reel her in. You use all these different things to get what you want from her just to leave her hanging.
Yep.
And because of the lust that you brought into her life, now she's living a lustful and sinful life.
Yep.
She's going against the will of God. She's going against what she knows for herself. She's going against her own values and beliefs, and you are causing her to stumble.
Yeah.
I said, woe to you.
Yes.
Right? It's better that you wrap or mill something around your neck and drown yourself than to cause one of these little ones to stumble. Right? Man, and I know that feeling all too well because I lived that life.
Absolutely.
I knew there was people out there that wanted a relationship, and I would never get in a relationship, but I would always engage with them.
Yep.
I knew I would say certain things just to get what I want. I became that person,
Yeah.
causing people to stumble, not feeling convicted by it, feeling like I was doing okay. Like you said, letting people know like what my intentions were, and just because I let them know, I felt like I was doing the right thing.
Yep.
But I wasn't.
Nope.
Right. But now that I'm wise and now I'm in a different position, now I know I'm held to a different standard. I know I got to be held accountable for everything I do and everything I don't do, for everything I say and everything I don't say,
Yep.
for everything I lead somebody to that ain't righteous.
Yep.
That's just like if you say, Rex, I'm trying not to cuss no more,
Mm-hmm.
right? But all I do, I'm cussing around you. I got cussing music playing,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you do cuss, I don't say nothing to you about it.
Yep.
I'm like, man, you good, bro? You with me?
Yep.
I'm causing
It's
you to
all right with
stumble.
me.
Yeah, bro. I'm causing you to
That's a
stumble,
fact.
and that's right there. Woe to you that they come through. Is so just be mindful of that.
That's good. That is good. You got a responsibility, bro.
Yep.
You do. Like, especially the ones of you that are successful. You have an amazing responsibility because if you do the right thing, you quite literally can heal generations, bro. You quite literally can bring life into this world with the woman that you settle with. And I don't mean settle in a bad way. I mean the woman you choose that is a woman of God and all the things that are in line with that. You can further the kingdom with your power,
Yep.
but you walking out here in your flesh.
Yep.
Be worth more than your Johnson, bro.
Yep.
Like for real. Like it makes me feel a type of way because I know the responsibility of what I did.
Yep.
I know the things that I did, how much time I wasted, and the things that women are gonna have to recover from because of who I used to be.
Yep.
So I'm just hoping that this will reach you before it's too late.
And if you don't know how to navigate that space, just ask for help.
Yeah.
Whether that help comes from us or somebody that can help you, brother. Like, you don't have to live this life by yourself. You
Yep.
don't have to live in sin by yourself. Just know that we are all struggling,
Yeah.
right? But it's like, how are you navigating your struggle?
Yeah.
Are you struggling and reaching out, or are you struggling and sitting in it and trying to figure it out by yourself?
Yep.
We don't have enough willpower to deal with sin by ourselves.
On our own,
We
yeah.
have to be connected to the higher source. We have to be connected with other believers. We have to be connected to men that help us sharpen our irons. We have to be connected to the right people, the right places, and the right things, because if not, we're going to always live the life we've been living.
That's good.
So if you want help, if you want better, if you want more accountability, you want more responsibility, you want to get to the root cause, you want to get past your excuses, and you want to become a man that not only says he's a godly man, but you live a godly life, and there's fruit in it. Your relationship shows it, your job shows it, your action shows it, your character and integrity shows it. Then listen, you have to lock in.
That's a fact. Did you have one more that you wanted to talk about, Rex?
No, I'm in there, brother.
Okay, awesome. Man, look, y'all. There's a calling that you have, there's a responsibility that you have. Just in general, on all the points that we've said today. You're gonna annoy your woman. It's inevitable. Just like she gonna annoy you. But do your best to make sure that you take accountability for those areas in which you can improve. Do your best to be cognizant ahead of time
Yeah.
of the things that will make you a better partner. Show up and be present when you're actually there with her. Show some initiative and some drive and some excitement to want to please her and make her happy.
Yeah.
Right? Don't just live to meet a standard. Live to exceed it.
Yeah.
Live to raise it. Right? Because you, with your power, can do things that nobody else can do.
Yeah.
God is giving you that. And so answer the door, even though I know God be knocking and you try to ignore him. Answer the door so you can become who he wants you to be. It's going to treat you so much better. Rex, let them know where they can find you, man.
Absolutely. It's your boy Rex Howard Jr., relationship and sex therapist. And if you are looking for counseling, relationship coaching for individual perspective, trying to work through trauma, trying to figure out what's causing you to stumble, figure out what's keeping you stuck, figuring out how to rewire your brain, or if you're in a relationship and you need premarital counseling or marriage counseling, you want to work through conflict, you want to learn how to forgive, you want to learn how to accept what is, what was, and will never be within your relationship, then go to resolvecc.com and book a session. And if you just want general information on how to become better, right, on a day-to-day basis in all areas of life, then all you got to do is hit us up on Let's Talk Like Men podcast or my personal page. I am Rex Howard Jr.
Awesome. I'm Miles the Millennial. Go by Miles Harris. Y'all know that. For me, if you guys are looking for a motivational speaker to be able to come into your organization, your school, your company, do some staff trainings, do some empowerment for your students or your employees, and really be able to create not only some motivation for them, but a cultural shift that's going to last them throughout the time that this is going on and going to produce real results. I want you to reach out to me at milesthemillennial.com. That's Miles with a Y. You go to milesthemillennial.com, fill out a booking form, and we'll be able to set up a consultation to talk through your needs and make sure that we produce results that not only affect the bottom line, but affect everything above that as well. We are Let's Talk Like Men, guys, and we'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.